There are a lot of great inquiries coming through on my last transmission to you guys, talking about private administrative process. How do we hold them accountable? What are the steps and procedures? Well, first we start identifying them for the man that their mother and father named them to be, man or woman, right? We need their name, full name. And then we separate them via their name from the title from which they're operating through. And we hold a private administrative process where we provide them the factual information in a sworn asseveration. Okay, we make oath, we don't take oath, we make an oath. This is our word, my yes be yes, my no be no. If you want to go under the pains and penalties of perjury, it's a commercial thing, just to inform you of that. But my yes be yes, my no be no, these are the facts that caused I, a man, harm. Okay, injury is a commercial term. It's a legal term. It's not it's not on the lawful side, all right? I was caused harm as a man. I, a man, been caused harm by an agent and agency, or by John Smith Doe, who trespassed against me by way of threat, duress, and coercion, theft of my time, because all rights violations are in fact theft. All violations of the law are a form of theft. And so we isolate them for the man and woman who they are, holding them personally liable and not generally liable through their title, their office, right? Which they don't fill the seat of anyway. And once we default them on that by sending them the evidence, sending them a true bill due and owing, letting them know the harm that was caused to I as a man by their egregious actions, acting under the color of law, which I really could give a shit about, because the honest fact is, no man has a right to tell another man what to do, absent an actual crime, which means he has to witness me pummeling somebody or ground and pounding them in order to physically accost me against my will and stick me up against a wall, right? Absent a victim, there's no crime. So I let them know that. And I give them 3, 4, 5 days to respond. They don't respond with the first correspondence. And the first one is just a nice, polite correspondence. The second one is the call to action. Because is it your intent not to pay this true bill due and owing for the harm that you have caused I by way of trespass? And of course, in the first correspondence, we're going to go ahead and send them all the evidence that we have that proves exactly what we're saying, okay? We're going to give them an opportunity to rebut it, just like a credit card company does. But they're not going to rebut it, ladies and gentlemen, because they're guilty of committing a crime, a trespass against you, which is a crime. It's unlawful, and it's also illegal. It's one of those times where lawful and legal are in harmony. So we go through the 3 steps and we default them, okay? Now, this is where it gets critical. After you do the default, you have to create your declaratory judgment, and you create it. Nobody else creates it. You create it. And then you do your writ of execution. Then you set your court date, okay? And you turn around and you take your evidence in and everything that's been acquiesced to by failure to respond, and you submit that before the court. They're going to go through and make sure that you followed procedure, due process of law, and then they're going to sign off on it. Just like they do with credit card companies, mortgages. It's about procedure and due process of law, guys. Real simple. Now, at that point, after you have this signed, your declaratory judgment, your writ of execution has been executed. Now you have a complete judgment that you now can go issue to the sheriff, the marshal, to go collect your property. That means they will liquidate their bank accounts, they will liquidate their house, their 401ks, whatever it takes to make you whole. They don't care. They will freeze everything and take everything until you're whole, unless you guys can come to an agreement, right? Once that's done, if you can't get satisfaction there, now you can take your judgment and by way of commercial lien, you can lean upon their person, you can lean upon their office, lean against their bond, because you have the judgment and the writ of execution. This is where you can take your private claim and attach it to them on the commercial side. Real simple stuff. So I hope that answers some of the inquiries I'm getting right now about the private administrative process. It's about being able to identify your rights as a man, your unalienable rights, and how the trespass occurred. Was it trespass by way of debt? Was it trespass by way of theft? Was it trespass by way of extortion? Was it trespass by way of physical bodily injury and harm? Physical bodily harm. I don't like using the word injury because, again, injury leads you into the legal realm. I like staying in equity where everybody's rights are protected equally, clean across the board, right? We want everybody to always be protected. That's just how we work. That's how we always should be. We want to be standing in the good grace of the Creator. We always want to do what is right, just, and fair, okay? And sometimes we have to forgive the ones who trespass against us, for they know not what they do. And the reason they don't know what they're doing is because we're asleep at the wheel. We are to blame. But once you put them on notice, it's called notice and opportunity, which is due process of law. All right? Now, there's another issue. Everybody says, well, go to the federal court. The federal court's the highest court. The federal court is not the highest court, ladies and gentlemen. Your court is the highest court on the land. You're the only one that can testify with firsthand knowledge under the pains and penalties of perjury of the actual facts that occurred. Absent a victim, remember, there's no crime. Being accosted against your will makes them the criminal, the assailant, and you the victim. Real simple shit, all right? Super simple. With that said, I'm going to let you guys go because I got to focus on the task at hand at the moment. But thanks for the inquiries. I'm paying attention to what's being typed and written. Remember, this is about your property, and your signature is your property. How did they get it? Why do they have it? Who has it? When did they get it? Who'd they sell it to? Why do they have it? Why is everybody else getting paid for your sign of nature, your signature, and you're the only one being left out? All right, that's your rights, titles, interest, dividends, derivatives, trust res, rents, hediments, general tangibles, general intangibles, chattels, and securities. All right, very important stuff. So I'll talk to you guys soon. I hope this fills that void on why we would use the private administrative process, why it's so important to get their names, video, audio, record them. If you got witnesses with you, make sure they're paying close attention to what's going on. That way you can complete your record, make an observation, create a record, and then you can serve it upon them, your record. If they don't dispute your record, then they admit to your record. All right? Really simple. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.